You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy, which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord, is considered worthless. Although, great sage, you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with religious performances. So what is that? Dharma, Artha, Kam, Moksha. Your standard Hindu religion. So what's he saying? Although you have very broadly described the four principles beginning with Dharma, you have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality. Everybody say, those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. So, is Narada being gentle? How is Narada preaching here? Very strong, straight, powerful. Wow. Words that do not describe the glories of the Lord are like a place of pilgrimage for crows. Where do you find crows? In the garbage. So, Narada is being very heavy here. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. On the other hand, that literature, which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord, is a different creation, full of transcendental words directed toward bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of this world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literatures, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. So that is what Srimad Bhagavatam. It's meant to create a revolution. A revolution what? In the impious lives. Just the same way. Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement is the same thing. It's a revolution. It's a, you could say, pacifist revolution, but still, Lord Chaitanya's movement is to destroy the evil in the age of Kali by loud chanting of the holy name of who? Krishna. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look well if devoid of a conception of the infallible God. Which name of Krishna means he's infallible? Achyuta. Everybody say. What then is the use of fruitive activities, which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So what do we call fruitive activities utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? What do we call that? Yes? Karma yoga. Karma yoga. That's what karma yoga is. You utilize fruitive activities in the devotional service of the Lord. The beginning, you could say, of bhakti yoga is that karma yoga. Not just karma, because that would be fruitive activities. But fruitive activities utilized for the devotional service is karma yoga. Very good. O Vyasadeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in vow and situated in truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of the people in general from all material bondage. So look at Vyasadev's qualifications. Perfect vision, which means he sees the same way Krishna sees, okay? Spotless fame, in other words, there's no rumors going around about him, there's no past history, he's spotless. He's firm in his vow. If you're firm in your vows, that makes you very powerful. And situated in truthfulness. Who else was known for being truthful? Yudhisthira, yes. Who else? Harishchandra, yes. Very good. In fact, one of these kathas will talk about Harishchandra, but for now we got to get the basics. Whatever you desire to describe that is separate in vision from the Lord simply reacts with different forms, names, and results to agitate the mind as the wind agitates a boat which has no resting place. Now this next one is very, very important. That's why it's in bold. The people in general are naturally inclined to enjoy. So keep that in mind when you see people in the material world, when you're dealing with them. They naturally want to enjoy. And you have encouraged them in that way in the name of religion. This is verily condemned and is quite unreasonable. So, the Guru is getting to the, he asked, did he ask? What did he ask? What is the root cause? He just pointed it out, what your root cause is. Because they are guided under your instructions, they will accept such activities in the name of religion and will hardly care for prohibitions. So that's your most of your religions. The preachers, they preach, yes, religion, but you can enjoy. In fact, that is now in the Christian world, they have this philosophy. Prosperity, that's what they preach. Just like supposedly Trump has this spiritual advisor in Florida, and she's famous for this. What is their philosophy? Follow our brand of Christianity and you will flourish with lots of money. So this is what Narada is condemning. Materialistic religion. That you're following, yes, I am Christian, I am Muslim, I am Jew, I am this. For what purpose? Wealth, fame, power, all kinds of material allurements. This is verily condemned, Narada says. Yes, it's called this what prosperity gospel. It's not what Jesus taught. Jesus taught renunciation, but they have come up with their own prosperity gospel. Yes, follow Jesus and become like Trump, billionaire. Yes, and will hardly care for prohibitions. Just like we've all had that experience. Even when Prabhupada was starting, Prabhupada would first do kirtan for 45 minutes. Then when he started to have Bhagavat-katha class, half the people would walk out. Because they could enjoy the kirtan, but now it's time to hear something. Nah. Right? Or we have the same experience. Oh yeah, I like what you guys are doing. Do you have any rules? Yes. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling. Bye. See you later. Yes, they don't like these prohibitions. They want to be able to do whatever they want. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. What's his name? Everybody say? Only a very expert personality, retired from the activities of material happiness, deserves to understand this knowledge of spiritual values. So this is the conditions. Somebody says, I want to know God, I want to see God. Here is the conditions. You have to be retired from the activities of material happiness. Not that, oh yes, I am very religious. We go to Las Vegas once a month. No. You have to be retired from the activities of material happiness. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness through descriptions of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. Transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Hey, Batuk, look. Your goodness has perfect vision. You yourself can know the Supersoul personality of Godhead because, read it, you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Question answered. He knows. He's Guru. Guru should know. You are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, more vividly. That's Srimad Bhagavatam. More vividly. Especially where? 10th canto. How many chapters? 90 chapters. But in the first 9, yes, you're going to hear about Krishna and all his different incarnations. Gets you ready. Now you're ready. You've heard about all these incarnations, all these great devotees. After 9 cantos of all that, Vyasadeva has been preparing you. Just like anyone who has cooked, you need the preparation work. Vegetables cut, rice soaked, this. You don't just go in there. All right, dinner's ready. No, there's lots of preparation, right? When you do Namahat, right? Several hours preparation work in order to make nice prasad. Of course, Krishna Kumar says, yes, I do everything in 1 hour. Huh? Yes. But those who have done like a big feast, right? Takes many hours preparation. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned from your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Now you understand why Prabhupada wanted Bhagavatam to be distributed. It will mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people. Prabhupada was very concerned. That's why he came to America, and his first disciples were not Indians. They were Malacha and Yavanas. And take it from me, yes, we were miserable. We were very miserable living here in America. All right? But Bhagavatam mitigates the miseries. Just like we've been doing this katha now for 1.5 hours. I'm not in misery. I'm in ecstasy. I hope you are too. I don't know. But I know I am. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the only way. Rishi Shonaka asked. So this is the last part of, you could say, Vyasadeva Katha. O Sutta, the great and transcendentally powerful Vyasadeva heard everything from Sri Narada Muni. So after Narada's departure, what did Vyasadeva do? Yes, the Guru has come, the Guru has gone. Now what does the disciple do? Let's go back on the TV. That means he didn't hear from Gurudev properly. So he wants to know, so what happened after? On the western bank of the river Saraswati, which is intimately related with the Vedas, there is a cottage for meditation at Shayamprash, which enlivens the transcendental activities of the sages. In that place, Srila Vyasadeva, in his own ashram, which was surrounded by berry trees, sat down to meditate after touching water for purification. Just like Nimai Charan, before he does anything, he does Achman. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Purification. Thus, Vyasadeva fixed his mind, perfectly engaging it by linking it in devotional service. Because that's what Bhagavatam is emphasizing. The conclusion of Bhagavad-Gita, right? You heard me say 1 trillion times. Bhagavad-Gita is promoting Bhakti Yoga. Right? You want to see Krishna? Bhakti Yoga. You want to know Krishna? Bhakti Yoga. You want to understand Krishna? Thank you very much. That's what we learn from Bhagavad. I read it. I read it every year. Every year it still doesn't change. It's not one day. What? No, it's always there. The same Sarvadan Man has not gone away. It's still 1866. Every year. Doesn't change. So he perfectly engaged it by linking in devotional service without any tinge of materialism. So therefore, what kind of devotional service it was? Pure devotional service. If there's no materialism, then it's pure. Otherwise, it's called mixed devotional service. Later, one of these sessions, we'll learn about the 81 different kinds of mixed devotional service. But Vyasadeva is pure, Shuddha. And thus Vyasadeva saw the absolute personality of Godhead along with his external energy, which was under full control. What's the verse in Bhagavad Gita? Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. Material nature is under whose control? Krishna's control. So look at Vyasadeva. He sat down to meditate. He's seeing God and the external energy. That's real meditation, not some light. He sees God in his form, and he also sees the external energy. Due to this external energy, the living entity, although transcendental to the three modes of material nature, thinks of himself as a material product and thus undergoes the reactions of material miseries. The material miseries of the living entity, which are superfluous, meaning unneeded, can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this, and therefore the learned Vyasadeva compiled this Vedic literature, what's it called? Which is in relation to the supreme truth. Who is the supreme truth? Thank you. Simply by giving oral reception to this Vedic literature. Which literature? Thank you. The feeling for loving devotional service to Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, sprouts up at once to extinguish the fire of lamentation, illusion, and fearfulness. So we did the Bhagavat Saptaha. So hopefully the feeling for devotional service was aroused by attending Bhagavat-katha. Hopefully it's aroused tonight by attending 2 hours this Bhagavat-katha. That's the whole purpose, to arouse a feeling. Yes, I want to do some kind of devotional service. Hearing, chanting, remembering, praying, worshiping. Okay? The great sage Vyasadeva, after compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam and revising it, taught it to his own son, Sri Shukadeva Goswami, who was already engaged in self-realization. In fact, he was already what? Self-realized. Where was he self-realized? Yes, in the womb. And so much was he self-realized, he didn't want to come out. When we study in a future class all about Shukadeva, we will learn that he did not want to come out, so Vyasadeva went to get Krishna to convince him, come out. So Krishna said, don't worry, Shukadeva, because Shukadeva said, why should I come out? I might fall into illusion. I'm already self-realized. No need to come out. Krishna said, it's okay. You can come out. I guarantee you won't fall into illusion. Would you agree to Krishna if he says? You won't be like Karna and say, no, I'll follow Duryodhana instead? Good. Yes. So when Shukadeva came out, he saw, what? Householders? No. And he left. And Vyasadeva is following. So what did Shukadeva do? He cloned himself. And one Shukadeva went back to stay with Vyasadeva. And the other Shukadeva went on to experience different things and not fall into illusion. Everybody chant the Maha Mantra.